So it seems that Puerto Ricans must have pissed off Myron or something like that. So let's talk about it. Now, I'm not going to be editing none of his clips in because honestly, that's going to be too much effort, and that's more effort than I'm willing to waste on Myron of all people. Now, Myron brought up a couple points, probably bad ones, probably, I'm not really sure, honestly. Talked about how our national language is English because we're American, which no, it's not. It's actually, it's Spanish. Just, just in case you didn't know. Talked about that our flag is a bastardized flag with a triangle and a star, and that our flag is inferior to the United States. Hey, look, I really don't care about the inferiority complex, but brother, the United States made the Puerto Rican flag illegal for decades, and I mean decades. It was a felony, by the way, and the Puerto Rican flag is actually older than the United States flag that you currently have right now. Then I guess something about us having national pride is such a problem to him, saying that, oh, you're not your own nation, you're a property. I'm like, no, actually we are our own nation because we do have our own government. We are not a state, and even though yes we are a colony, we're a colony, the IOC, Olympic Committee, and many other nations recognize us as our own nation. I don't know, it might be a jealousy thing. I'm not sure.
Myron Gaines and people like Myron are these immigrants that hold a mirror up to the community. And it shows just as black folks and other groups how powerless we are. He spews hate speech all the time. And he just gets away with it. Nobody has the power to stop him from doing this or get him banned, or like some of the things that he said about black people has been very disparaging. He first started with the Fresh and Fit, and he would bring women onto the show, and he would totally disrespect women, especially black women. And when black women would come on, he would play the primate music, the primate sound effects. He would do all kinds of things and say things about our community. And he walks around scot-free like nothing, like it's just whatever, right? He can say anything he want to say about black folks. Nothing ever happens, right? So at some point, Fresh and Fit channel got demonetized. They were on the show crying and everything. And now he jumped into politics. And he knows the more controversial he is, the more views he gets, right? So he starts copying Charlie Kirk's thing out of Charlie Kirk's book after Charlie Kirk was unalive. He goes to these college campuses and he tries to debate people. He's not that intelligent, but he goes and he tries to debate people. And in his debates, he would still say disparaging things about black Americans and minorities, right? Different groups. He would have a whole bunch of disrespectful stuff to say, especially about FBA Americans, right? He has his battles going back and forth with Albert and Preach, right? But this time, in his battles with Albert and Preach, he got into something with the Puerto Rican community. And he's going at it with Puerto Ricans, and he's saying some very bad things. Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Cubans. My mother's Cuban. My father's FBA, right? Born and raised here in Philadelphia. Raised by my father on my FBA side all my life, right? But I have a Cuban mother. And, he was saying some very disparaging and disrespectful things, right? Look at this.
Porto, I hate to say it, and since you guys are American citizens, you guys abuse welfare. Honestly, Puerto Ricans are basically Hispanic blacks. Yo, let's just call it a million. Puerto Ricans are Hispanic. That's what y'all are, bro. You guys are the blacks of the Hispanic community. You and Dominicans, bro. You're Spanish, nobody understands you. Cubans are a close second. Dominicans and Puerto Ricans are like this, and then Cubans are like a close second. If we're going to be honest. So agree with me in the chat. I'm telling you, bro, do I not spit facts or what? No, the Puerto Rican flag is not the same as the Texas flag because Puerto Rico is a territory. It's not a state. They're not even really fully... we should take away their American citizenship if I'm going to be honest, bro. That island is useless. If I'm going to be honest, bro. If I'm going to be all the way honest, a lot of these Puerto Rican criminals... They don't want to learn English. Their island back, bro. They want sovereignty anyway. Let them have their island back. Puerto Rico sucks. I know I'm going to have a bunch of Puerto Ricans getting mad at me crying. I told you guys nobody is safe, bro. Okay? I told you guys I'm an open racist towards everybody. Nobody's safe. These Puerto Ricans are useless too, bro. Why do you guys think the Northeast is so? All right? Mexicans work hard. Puerto Ricans don't. Neither do Dominicans. They're all drug dealers. If I'm being all the way a million. And this is coming from somebody from the Northeast, by the way. Okay? I grew up in Connecticut. None but Puerto Ricans over there. Central Connecticut. Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, Maryland, D.C. Ain't no Puerto Ricans in Vermont and New Hampshire shit. But New York, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, like Providence, for example, bro, straight Puerto Ricans, bro, all crooks. They're all drug dealers. And the thing is that they can smuggle the drugs in because Puerto Rico's territory, man. But yeah, bro, at least Mexicans work hard, bro. Mexicans are drug dealers super hard. And there's no middle ground with Mexicans. They either work hard, right, or they're drug dealers. The middle ground. Puerto Ricans, easy. Abuse welfare.
Now, he lives in Miami, and he's saying things about Cubans. He's saying things about Puerto Ricans, Dominicans. Now, anybody say everything about Black Americans, and they get away with it. They get away with it all the time. And I've been calling this stuff out. Like, yo, how long are we going to continue to let these dudes keep disrespecting us and getting away with it? Saying very disparaging things about us and our communities. I've been calling this stuff out. At what point do legislators, lawmakers, somebody step in, right, and protect our image? This is purely hate speech, right? Now, this is the thing. I want to see, because with the other groups down there in Miami, let's see if he continues to talk about Dominicans and Cubans and Puerto Ricans, as long as because they're not going to allow him to do that without it being something, right? Like, they always like to, and stay with me, they like to always call us violent and crazy and everything. But when groups talk about us, they go home, right? When Kirk was unalived over there in Utah, that was on the W campus. And had he been going to black colleges, he'd be still alive, right? So they like to call us violent and everything. But other groups can talk about us. They still get to live, right? They still get to live. The thing is, the Latinos ain't off the hook, because there was a lot of Latinos for years that agreed with this guy saying about us, right? Saying about us. When they were saying disparaging things about us, not all, but a lot of Latinos agreed with him. Now he calling them the N-words of basically the Latino culture, or whatever, the Hispanic culture. He calling them the N-words of it, right? Black, Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, neck and neck, and Cubans is right behind them, right? So, like, like I said, this dude is crazy, right? And mind you, this dude he's not an African. He's not a Northern African. He's an Arab. He's an Arab. He's an invader into Africa. That's what he is. That's what his people is. His people are invaders that came in and enslaved Africans. They're not North Africans. He is an Arab, right? That came in from the north, right? So this is the thing. So he already has a preconceived notion about other groups. That's just how he operates. But Puerto Ricans, they started to comment on this. Some of them were saying this.
So y'all know Myron Gaines lives in Miami-Dade County, right? Did y'all see that video where he talked about Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Cubans? Look it up. Just remember that. Every time you see him at a club, every time you see him at an event, every time you see him anywhere, just remember that he thinks low of Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, and Cubans. He says that we're lazy, that we are all on food stamps. Not to say anything wrong with that, but the way he's portraying it as if it is wrong. And he says that we're all, and we're not all on food stamps, but he's making it seem like we are. And what else did he say? Oh, and that our Spanish is unintelligible. And of course he's sprinkling anti-blackness into that. Because why does our Spanish sound the way that it sounds? And also, he was being anti-black in his statement. So for all of you red pillars that are part of those communities, that are part of those intersections, yeah, Myron Gaines thinks that you're lazy and that your language is unintelligible.
I want you guys to understand something, having a Cuban mother. The stuff that Myron is saying is commonplace to what a lot of Spaniards often say about Puerto Ricans and Dominicans, right? Now, the white Puerto Ricans a lot of times will say this about Dominicans, especially Cubans that look like me, right? Cubans that were dark. right? They would make these kind of statements, right? They're the N-words of this community, and their language is more African, and they talk like that, right? So I know all those talking points, but this is the thing. This is the thing. A lot of you Latinos are the cause of this, because when us FBAs was calling you out, you guys were siding with them. You guys was identifying and wanting to be white folks. You guys was trying to be over there with them. Now, not everybody, but I was saying like, yo, they're not our friends. They're not. Listen, I know this. I know what my father went through, right, and had to go through, and all those, and raising us and everything. No, bro, a lot of y'all haven't been allies to us or been our friends. Some, yeah, but a lot, no. It's like a 60-40 split, right? So now when he made these statements, y'all upset, but y'all created this because there hasn't been like a real black and brown coalition. Now maybe in Philadelphia where I'm at, blacks and Puerto Ricans get along great. They like brothers. But outside of Philadelphia, it's not the same. It's not the same everywhere. Everybody ain't rocking like that, right? So I got to call it for what it is. You guys are getting what you asked for. Y'all was supporting Trump and was riding with Trump. So now when you get over there, so now they being disrespectful towards you, and now you act like you don't understand, right? Now you act like you don't understand, right? But Myron wasn't finished. Check it out.
Puerto Rican, you beanbag, man. These rice and bean beer talk, man. I'm cooking in a soup, man. How does it feel to know that you ain't getting a T-check? One? Huh? How does that feel, Puerto Rican? Guaranteed, bro. The dumbass flag with the little star, with the one star, and proud about country. You ain't even got a country. American. American. You guys got American passports. Want to talk about national pride? Oh, Puerto Rican, Boricua. Your country is the Bronx, but you're American. Half y'all can't even speak English. Nothing about you. Why do you guys drive Hondas, 2002 Hondas, and you put like new engines in it? How do y'all, you put the rims on the car, and you put a new engine, but it's worth more than a car? Why do I have a 1997 Supra? Why do you guys know those perfectly? It's like I made jokes about them for their music sucking. Like, bro, and it's the same beat every time. Doom, 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 doom. Bro, I grew up in New Britain, Connecticut, man. You know how annoying it is to listen to Yankee 17 hours a day? Like, bros never get tired. Doom, 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 doom. Worse than Texas. Like, you guys ever met like a person from Texas? Oh, yeah. Oh, great state of Texas. We don't need America. That's what Puerto Ricans are like. But like, more, you guys are like, somewhat Mexican, really. He does, man. Puerto Rico. It's like, yo, so proud of a nation when y'all ain't a nation. What are you talking about, bro? We want independence.
Denied.
Our territory now. Use work for me now.
Denied.
Italians out of here, man. That's why y'all get into the worst borough in America, worst borough in New York City. Want to send me to talk about, oh yeah, come see me in New York City. For what? All a bunch of time, man. Beanbag, rice and beers. Hey, bro, come to New Jersey. Hey, yo, I'm in New York City. Come find me. Am I gonna go to New York City? You want me to meet you? Wrong-infested EBT. Bro, you need to focus on getting some food. Government shutdown is here. Why are you worried about me? Huh? You need to focus on getting mad at me. And how your music sucks. Meanwhile, we get Captain Crunch. We got this.
Let me say this to the FBA family, right? We need to stay focused, stay diligent, and understand what we up against and what we need to do. It's obvious that Myron is doing this because he knows he can do it. Myron is doing this because he knows he has the backing of a lot of the W America that agrees with what he's saying. Because if they didn't, he wouldn't be saying it. He has people behind him, champion him on to say the things that he's saying. Now, as foundational Black Americans, we tried to warn everybody. We opened up our arms and tried to love on everybody and say, yo, listen, man, they ain't your friends. Don't be over there with them, man. Listen, be cool, man. Be cool. Like, stop rolling over there with them. But no, y'all wanted to be accepted as W folks. You guys didn't want to be accepted with us. And even notice he called the Bronx the worst borough in New York City where the majority of Latinos live. That's what he called that. Not where the blacks live at. He talking about y'all. And he calling y'all the N-words. Man, like this stuff. But I've been knew this. We've been knew this. I understand. Man, listen. Like I said, in Dominicans, like to say, I know black. And they don't like to be called black because the way that they're treated in Dominican Republic, the darker ones, and Puerto Ricans, a lot of Puerto Ricans historically was always racist against Dominicans because they were dark. They were dark, right? So they didn't want to identify. Cubans were like the only ones that identify really with their blackness and practice that the traditions and customs like that. The other groups, for the most part, didn't. Well, if you went to like Luis and Puerto Rico, but for the most part, no. So what I'm saying is, while we try to help and love on everybody, we got crapped on. We got crapped on. Y'all was talking trash, and then as soon as ICE come through and start kicking y'all out, now y'all was calling us for help. And then saying, well, why can't blacks be deported? So now, like, they just piling on y'all, and I don't like to see it happen, but it is what it is, right? I'm not somebody that's just going to celebrate people being harmed or you know, bad things happening, but you asked for this. You asked for this, and you thumbed your nose up at us for many years in this country. For many years in this country. So again, like you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm a YouTuber. I have to report on what's being said. I don't agree with what he said. I think that it's hate speech. But I'm just saying, you Latinos, y'all gonna have to learn from this, man. Because y'all thought y'all arrived. You thought that you was an honorary W person, and you're not. You're not. You're not. I'm a black man. I've always been a black man. I'm my father's son. Yeah, my mom is from that community as well, but I'm not from that community. I'm foundational black Americans. My family is right here, right? My daddy picture is right there on the wall, right? Our family is in Florida. Our family's in Florida. Our family is in Georgia and Virginia, right here on the land. I did my videos. On my family's lands. Where are yours, right? I did my videos on my family's land. I need to see some of y'all do y'all videos on the family land. Like let's show where we come from, right? But I'm gonna cut this video short here. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button, subscribe to Street Media TV, leave your comments in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time, peace.